And okay, so we are live. So what we want to do here is just kind of let a couple people come on. In the meantime, for those of you who are watching this, whether it's live right now or on replay, just make sure to allow Streamyard to access your comments so that or your Facebook so that you can leave comments. And if you're watching this right now, drop a like down below. Just come and support Julia. We are with the very beautiful, the very elegant Julia today. So please drop us a little bit of support. Say hello, drop a like. If you're watching this on replay, drop a replay down below as well. And yeah, so let's kind of just take it away, Julia. Like, introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Twain. I like what Twain mentioned. I am mom of three kids. I live in Australia. Um, went back to uni recently because I was quite fascinated and interested in nutrition.
Mm.
I'm doing it online, part time, because that fits in with the family schedule, and also helping my husband in his business, doing some of the accounting, tax, and whatever that needs to be done. Yeah, and yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you're really juggling a lot of roles, right? I mean, having three kids is already a handful in and of itself, and then with helping with your husband's business side of things, that's another thing. And then on top of that, juggling your studies in,
Yeah,
just a lot on your plate, man.
yeah.
But
Because
yeah, I guess. Mm,
yeah, it doesn't sound like much, but I think my days were so full that I didn't have
yes.
enough sleep, didn't have enough. I mean, finding time to exercise was also always a struggle. I could probably like chuck in twice a week Pilates, and that's it, like no time for walks and anything. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a very common thing that we hear. So look, like in terms of what you've achieved, you've honestly achieved really amazing results. Aside from this, the weight loss, which is I think at this point about 7.5 kilos, maybe closing in on 8 kilos already. The bigger change is like the waist drop, right? Like this 15 cm off. So those results are super amazing. Really want to celebrate you for that. But aside from that, what are some of the other maybe intangibles kind of results that you feel you've gotten?
Yeah, I think one of our Zoom check-ins, we were
Mm,
kind of reflecting, and like how you were always encouraging like the journaling. So, it's kind of like I'm trying to integrate more gratitude day to day, and I'm kind of reflecting on this journey. And it's like I think the biggest initially I started with the aim to lose weight and to have a trimmer tummy, but actually I feel like for me now the biggest benefit is actually the fitness and the energy,
mm,
uh, and just enjoying and actually finding a new enjoyment for sport that I'm always thought, oh, that's not for me. Like running is like, oh, remember I told you like long ago, it's like, running is definitely not for me. It's like too boring and things like that.
yeah.
But somehow or other, after reaching like a basic kind of fitness level, that
True.
allowed me to actually try it, and it actually is quite enjoyable. I actually surprised myself. So I think that was one of the biggest benefits, was actually trying new things and then finding, oh, actually I could do it,
Yeah.
unexpected, and I actually enjoy it, not just do it, but actually enjoy it. And also with like the hiking. So yeah, and also like more energy, and just in general, just feeling better in my own skin. Yeah.
Mm. And I think what you brought up is super, super important here, right? Like you started out just wanting to lose weight, as everybody kind of does. But along the way, you find out that, hey, just losing weight, getting fitter, getting more energetic, and getting more comfortable with your body kind of unlock all these other doors for you, right? Whereas your previous experience of running was because, you were probably heavier, less in shape, and trying to run was such a torturous thing. By getting you in shape, you actually realize, hey, running actually is something that my body's so capable of. I'm able to actually do it to a pretty high level, an enjoyable level. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So yeah, it was the also the process of like discovering that, that was also part of the joy, that
Mm.
things that I never thought I would enjoy, I actually enjoy now. So it's
Yeah,
truly a journey.
I think it really is. And most people, to be honest, most people, because like we're not going to reveal Julia's age, but you know, yeah, Julia's just a little bit younger than I am. I'm just kidding here. I'm just kidding here. But like a lot of times people feel like when they reach the 40s plus, they end up feeling like, oh man, I wish I was back in my prime. I wish I could turn back the clock and all of that, right? But I reckon for you right now, you probably are feeling almost as fit as you were when you were younger, maybe even fitter. Would that be the
Yeah, I
case?
mean, yeah, I'm not embarrassed because I can, tell people my age. I turned 50 this year. It doesn't really matter to me. Age is just a number, but I feel
Hmm.
that what's more in, what's more important is the energy that we feel,
Yes.
the vitality for life, and being able to, use our 2 feet. Because I've seen, you know, people like, I won't name names, but older people that never had the chance to exercise, that it wasn't in their radar, and you really do see that it's taking a really severe toll on them. So
Mm.
looking at them, I'm kind of learning the lessons, and I'm like, now I'm 50. I need all the more. I need to, keep my muscles fit and strong so that I can be independent when I'm much older and
Yeah.
enjoy quality of life. Yeah.
Yeah. That's such an important thing that you mentioned, and I think also a very graceful thing you mentioned, where you said um, how they didn't have it on their radar and they actually didn't know to do like more exercise, right?
Mm,
So
not aware.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I think like learning from those lessons and looking at exercise is something that you actually get to do. You're kind of privileged to do. Really puts
Yeah.
you in that positive mindset to keep trying to do it as much as you can. Which is also
Yeah.
why you're so successful at it and you've gotten like yourself to where you're at right now.
Yeah.
I guess maybe on that note, what are some of your biggest learnings then from this entire experience? Maybe like your three biggest learnings.
Um, yeah, I think the first one, actually, this only just came to mind, but I think actually the biggest one is overcoming the mindset.
Okay.
When I look back, it's like there were so many obstacles that my brain put up. No time, no energy.
Yeah.
It's expensive. It's I had injuries in my shoulder, my knee. How am I gonna exercise? Would it make it worse?
Yeah.
Or like during the program, there were times when it's like, you feel like, or rather, I felt maybe a bit unmotivated, and that's because if I didn't see, like I was looking at the scale or the
Mm.
measurements, but those again are like the mental roadblocks that I need to work around with. But I found that one of the biggest learning is actually, I think I'm overthinking things, and I need to just remove myself from that negative chit chat in the brain
Mm.
and just do it, just
Mm.
do,
Just take
yeah, like,
action, right? Yeah.
yes, yeah, just take action, just do what I've planned to do. I guess, and actually the other thing was, like you were mentioning in one of the chats, that uh, we really do need to have a plan of action, a strategy, and then
Yeah.
you just follow through the plan, right? You don't have to think too much, you just do it. But the
Yeah.
planning is key. I mean, the plan is just a plan, but it's the act of planning that's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It creates the intention, right? And it really gives you, it offloads a lot of the in the moment having to make decisions kind of aspect. It makes it
Yeah.
easier for you to then be flexible. So if you actually have a plan, I guess maybe what you're saying is like if you have a plan, is makes it easier for you to follow through on it. And if things happen, you can pivot and adjust quite well.
Yeah. And that's where, like I was saying, I guess maybe the third one is, I really enjoyed learning that the process was so much more important than the outcome. So it's like having the plan. Sometimes it's scary to have, say, a goal or a plan, because like, what if I can't reach that goal or plan? But it's still important to plan for it.
Yeah.
But having the open mindset, again, this is the mental part,
Yeah.
being easy on ourselves, on myself. If some days it's a crap day, I didn't manage to do the workout, or ate something that was over my calorie count, but then that's just one day. We can just work and tweak the plan, but don't let that stop you from having a plan in the first place. That's what
Mm.
I yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you really managed to kind of retool your mindset from previously, right? In this sense, where it was either all or nothing. It's either you're 100% on the plan, or if
Yeah.
you can't even hit, or if you go off plan a little bit, that's it,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
give up. I
Just
remember that's one of the
feels
things you
frustrating.
mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the frustration that comes with that. Yeah, and I mean, those are really really good learning points. So maybe in a way to wrap this up, what is one thing, one piece of advice that you have? Let's say if you go back in time and talk to yourself, pre-program, what is one piece of advice you would give them, or maybe for anybody else who was in the same position as you, struggling to kind of get their fitness together, having all these mental blocks in place. What's like one piece of advice you give them?
Yeah. I think there's, probably quite a few things I would have told myself, but I think probably the biggest thing I feel is just be gentle on yourself, and just be kind to yourself. And
Mm.
no matter where you've been and what journey you've been on and whatever setbacks you've had in your fitness journey, but today is a new day, and tomorrow is a new day. So I think, and just give yourself the permission to just do things little by little. Don't set
Mm.
yourself up for such high um, goals, and then it's become so frustrating that you don't achieve it. But let yourself enjoy achieving the little goals, and then it builds momentum.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, this oh my god, that's like fantastic advice. That's
Yeah.
that's I know I've done my job well if that's your advice. Essentially, be kind to yourself. Be firm but be kind, right? Like, it doesn't mean we give ourselves a pass on every little thing that we do, but also recognize that we're human. Making little errors is totally normal in the process. And then, like you said, setting not super huge out of reach goals, but setting manageable goals that you can actually see yourself hitting, and then really just taking them off day by day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, it's true. I think that the probably biggest thing that lots of people need is just that self-compassion, because, there's so much going on in their lives, and, probably lots of things. And on top of the negative chit chat about fitness, your weight and the size and everything, we just
Yeah.
need to, be compassionate to ourselves and just start small.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful message and a great way to end this, wrap up this interview. I think on that note, thank you
Mm.
so much, Julia, for kind of coming on, sharing your journey. If you have any further questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. For Julia, I'll definitely forward it to her, so she can answer them. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how much more you can achieve. She's gone from having knee pains, all these kind of chronic stuff, and
Yeah.
being so inconsistent to, I think, recently conquering like a massive overland track. So really, really good stuff there. Thanks so much, Julia.
Well, thanks, Tony.
I'll see you all in the next one.
Okay, see you.